Hey, it's your narrator here. Thank you so much for listening to our tale. Special thanks to our subscribers on Ko-Fi, Scav, Xbox Unofficial, Kane, Sky, Maelstrom Star, Flowerfield, and David Draws. Your support means more you can know. Our background music is by Marika Shans, with a closing by Cody, and an opening by Ben McElroy. Our art is by our very own Corey, voice of Virgil. Now why don't you sit with me and look up at the sky? You see the stars? They're telling us a story, if we want to listen. Garrett, you don't like it when I do this, do you?
It's a little, uncomfortable, but not unwelcome.
I'll stop if you tell me.
All right.
I'm curious, some kind of things happened last we spoke. Kian and Jacques watched the stars and each other, and it felt like old days. Virgil, Ox, and Henry went to the arcane bookshop in town, and they found books. And they also found you and Nico. But you also looked through those papers, those ones from the sheriff's office. What did you learn?
Well, we learned that Ox maybe still has some secrets. We learned that Navain has been in contact with Donna and in working with Donna. We learned that the devil is perhaps on our side, which is concerning.
Why is that concerning?
I suppose I don't understand why they would be. And how they fit into all this.
Do you know why I'm on your side?
That's a good point. I suppose I don't.
Do you know how I fit into all this?
Not exactly, but it almost feels like all of this fits around you.
When you find out, let me know. Virgil, Ox, and Henry. You arrive to Henry's shop, and you find it empty. The windows are boarded up. The door is shut and padlocked, with a lock that is unfamiliar to you, Henry. It's almost flashy in how industrial it is. Big, just padlock at the front of the door. A couple people walk by. They don't really give it a second glance as they pass on through to the busier, more exciting parts of town.
And it's late night, right?
It's not late.
Okay.
I guess it depends what your definition of late is. Some people, aka me, go to bed at like 9:30 p.m. It's around 10:30.
Let it out. Sorry, 10:30 made me yawn.
Sleepy. Yeah.
I don't suppose you know what they might have been looking for.
No.
Great. Do you have another door that isn't so facing the street?
Well, there is a fire escape at the second floor on the back.
Yeah, let's take that.
Henry will lead them back around the building. I think we had established it before that it's not like attached to any buildings on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. How do I want it to get it? Because usually they retract.
Well, Henry gets on Ox's shoulders, and then Virgil
No,
up.
I want to watch them.
You just throw Virgil.
No, he could parkour up this, but I see them clambering on like each other's shoulders. He stands back and we'll watch. I want to see.
Yeah.
Who gets on top of who?
I mean, Henry probably gets on Ox's shoulders. Henry, you have to guide me. I don't know which way I'm supposed to go.
You're doing great.
It's not that high.
As two idiots try to get down the fire escape.
Yeah. The bottommost ladder that's supposed to be grabbed. Bottom.
Do you want to say bottom one more time?
We haven't played for a month.
We gotta get it all out.
Would you like to make a sexy little dex check? 12.
13.
13. You know, it's a little shaky. You know, it's a new angle that you haven't explored before.
My God.
But you are able to just barely reach up, Henry, and grab the the bottom rung of the ladder. And I would imagine it's not too hard to access a fire escape ladder as Virgil watches on.
He's supervising.
Yeah, with the ladder pulled down, Henry brushes himself off, straightens up a little bit, as if it wasn't actually, that was exactly how it was planned, actually. Don't ask any questions. And
Okay.
is the first one up to the second floor window that leads from the bedroom that's towards the back of the house.
You clamber inside the window, and you find it emptied. The large furniture is still there. You know, the bed is there, the wardrobe is there, but the doors to the wardrobe are open. There's nothing inside. The bed has no mattress. The rug is gone. You can see the faint outline of it where it rested for years on the floor. Picture frame's gone. Mirror's gone.
Look around a little and stick his head back out the window for a moment. There's not a whole lot left here. I'm just going to quickly check everything else. I don't expect to find much. I won't be that long. He checks the pocket watch in his vest. If I'm not back in 15 minutes, you can send someone up for me.
He said stay outside.
Well, easy enough. And Ox will light up a cigarette and lean against the side of the building and wait for Henry.
Classic Ox.
Both his home and shop together are not that large. There's just bedroom, bathroom space, study, the main room, little kitchen, and then the shop itself, which is on the first floor.
Your footsteps echo a bit strangely down your hallways now that there's nothing to muffle them, and nothing but wall and ceiling for the sound to echo off of. You find every room similarly gutted downstairs in the shop. Nothing on the shelves, no decor on the walls, nothing.
Even the piano, upright piano.
The piano would still be there. Where is the piano?
The living room, sitting room space, relatively close to the stairway. Henry will come back.
As you start to walk back up the stairs to the window, you hear a few notes as the piano is played.
Do we hear that or no? I guess a better question is, does Ox hear that?
Roll perception?
Because I don't hear shit. I ain't no elf. Natural 1, actually.
One. Excellent. You don't hear shit.
Exactly.
You hear the voices in your head.
And that's why we'll unpack that later. And that's why I don't roll perception.
And then Ox, you got 24.
Yep.
You can just faintly hear the distant, muffled sound of the familiar notes of Henry's piano.
He'll glance up towards the window, but doesn't think much of it.
Henry, on the stairs, freezes. And perhaps part of him knows it's a stupid idea, but he looks back. He creeps as quietly as he can down these stairs, given his boot and bare stair situation.
You find the devil playing the piano
I fucking
in your
told
living room.
you.
They don't turn around to you, but they just raise one hand in greeting as you start to creep down the stairs.
As soon as Henry's able to see them, he pauses. To what do I owe the occasion?
They play a few more notes. Just a slow, melancholy, simple tune, with a single hand. I just wanted to let you know. I can offer you some help if you need it.
As in, I don't know how much help I'll necessarily need, with the house, given everything. It looks like the, Donna, probably, whomever. Forces already removed everything for me. Unless you're thinking of another kind of help?
Other kinds of help, yes.
Such as...
You tell me. When you're ready.
How would I contact you?
They just keep playing.
Oh, right. Well, enjoy the piano. I'm glad to hear it's still in tune. And he's takes a few steps backwards up the stairs, and then not quite scurries away, but he's not dawdling.
Ox, as you see Henry appear in the window, you also still hear a distant, muffled song from the piano.
I think that's when Ox will drop his cigarette and stamp it out. I think it sounds like we should go.
My thoughts exactly.
What?
Let's go.
We can walk and talk.
Why are you both so... What? Why are you being weird?
I
What happened?
look as I was. Look, okay, look. Let's back this up. I imagine they're already on their way back. So, while I was in the process of leaving, the devil showed up. In my living room. The entire house is empty, by the way. Donna
Well, clearly not.
Well, I should say they left the big furniture pieces. Well, I don't know, because I guess that's the police force for you. They can't finish everything all the way. So they just took, what, like the
Can
rug
we
and-
talk about the devil, actually?
Yeah, I'm getting to that part. The devil, though, the upright piano that I have is still there. And they showed up at the piano while I was, leaving. And, well, I'm not... Listen.
I am trying. I actually haven't gotten a lot.
But I, back a little bit. I wasn't that far away. Just to, double check. I mean, somebody makes themselves known like
Okay,
that.
what did
it's
they
like-
say to you? What did they want?
They offered us to help me with something. I tried to get something more out of them to some degree, but they didn't seem particularly talkative about that.
Okay, historically, you have mentioned you have a positive relationship with the devil, and correct me if I am wrong. Did that seem to still stand?
Real quick, can I do a retroactive insight check? Well, not retroactive, I should say. It's like the insight check of like thinking back to this moment from like a minute ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never saw their face, so it's a little harder to read. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
They were talking to the piano. 19.
It seemed, if anything, it seemed fairly apathetic, but you could hear here and there the hint of a smile in their voice when they offered for help.
Okay. I mean, all things considered, they didn't seem hostile. I think perhaps even the offer was genuine, but I don't know that much about making deals with the devil specifically.
I would assume there would be quite a high price to pay. Yeah?
Maybe?
I mean, I've heard, it's souls is their thing, right? That's correct?
I mean, isn't it a little outside of my body right now?
We don't really know, do we?
No.
Yeah, would you even have something to give to him?
I don't know, I mean...
Especially if you've made previous deals that affect it?
I guess we could always negotiate it if we were interested. But I don't know what we would even need, necessarily, that we'd have to go to some sort of a higher power for.
Well, I assume they wouldn't offer if you didn't have something appealing.
Sometimes that's relative.
I also assume they wouldn't have offered if there wasn't something that you wanted, Henry. Is there something you would go to that length for?
I don't know if they turned up at your, heist first. Maybe it's related to that, not me.
It doesn't really feel like a coincidence that they showed up twice now.
No, but see, the first time made sense if they were offended that we came in without paying a toll, but they took one look at you, Ox, and they knew you. But this was for Henry. This I don't think was related.
I don't know. maybe they can't appear outside buildings? Henry says, knowing that's bullshit.
Well, if there is nothing you would give your soul away for, let's maybe get out of town.
I agree. I think it's best we start thinking about leaving.
Can I insight check Henry?
Sure. He's really bad at lying, like deceiving other people, but as soon as it comes to his friends, oh my god, so good. There's some hesitation, but I think that's about all you really get. It might be deliberation.
Henry, did you ever go to the devil about your curse?
I mean, I didn't. Listen, I might have embellished before about the whole interaction with the devil. It really was that just that one time where they came by my shop.
Sure. But a lot can happen in one day.
Maybe. I'm trying to pass all of the information together, I suppose, because, it was sort of an interesting, a bragging piece before when it was just one guardian that was interested in me, but then we go to the Phoenix Islands and then it seems like it was perhaps Nevane or maybe also the Phoenix. I'm not sure how I feel about guardians liking me now.
I understand that is disconcerting. I can't help but notice you didn't actually answer my question. Did you go to the devil about your curse?
Oh, no.
Was there a reason why not?
I didn't think they specialized in that sort of thing. I also didn't know how to contact them. I still don't know how to contact them. They did not give me any information for that. I assume that they will just appear if I were to seriously state that I, was interested in what just happened. I think that wording is vague enough to not trigger it. Maybe.
Okay, well, I guess we keep that in our back pocket if we ever come to that point.
Yes. If we can pinpoint a need first. Or a want, I guess. We should head back to camp then. There isn't really much more for me to do here, considering that everything is gone. And well, sorry, I just internally went on a whole piece about the filing for that because it's not like it was cheap. It even took the rugs off the floor, which is just tacky, in my opinion. Did my parents sign off on this? It was their money that was used to purchase everything. I guess I'm just curious. I tend to keep anything of particular importance on my person. So.
Well, I'm sorry they did that to you.
Thank you. We probably shouldn't let the others, or leave the others waiting for us back at camp. And there's the whole other thing that happened at the other house.
Which we are going to keep between us, right?
Yes?
Yeah.
That's not a question. Because where we are going back to, there are people that cannot know about this.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to tell Scar, good god.
I'm not worried about that, I'm worried about them overhearing it while we're telling one of our friends. Which I am not against, but we cannot do aloud.
Okay, that makes sense. Or written.
Not unless you burn it afterwards.
Okay, if we are in agreement.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm laughing. I'm just thinking Keenan reading out loud a note. Like,
Motherfucker.
What's this say?
Oh my
Scar,
god.
can you read this for me?
I'm a little dyslexic.
You all head back to the camp,
Yeah.
not too far out of the boundaries of the town of somewhere. You find Kian and Jacques on watch. First you hear the quiet sound of the banjo before you see them. Behind them, the rest of the Winds of Change are all huddled in their sleeping pallets. Scar a short distance from the rest of the group. Kieran is there as well, definitely not spying on Jacques and Kian. And it's starting to get cold.
No.
The night is fairly clear, the sands are bright, and relatively peaceful.
Keen lifts their head from Jacques' shoulder. Do you find everything you needed?
Yeah, I think so.
More or less. Donna stole everything of mine, so...
Kian's expression changes from just very content to suddenly worried, and they sit up. Is everything okay? Okay. Well, it's all good though, right?
I mean, just house things. It's not that it's not incriminating, is what I mean.
But it's still house things.
It's honestly unnecessary on her part.
Yeah. So that sucks. I would think.
Yes. You seem to be having a nice night?
He says through gritted teeth.
Well, that sounds really awful. I'm sorry. It's been nice over here.
Don't rub it in.
Fuck.
It doesn't feel like that. Don't worry about it.
I assume the three of you would like to get some rest.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you are willing to trust it, Leaf can take watch.
Do we want one of ours to join?
I mean, if you needed someone to do the second part of watch, I would be willing to assist as well. I'm not sure if they want to stay up all night, split it up.
You do you?
All right, then I'll take the watch. The second half.
I'll be up early, so I don't mind taking the third.
Jacques stands up, puts his banjo back in the case, and walks over to gently wake up Leaf. Goes to settle down in the same spot for watch.
Virgil will set up close to the fire with his little nest of blankets and his lion.
Marigold keeps an eye out as well.
You do occasionally see some critters skittering by, a lizard, maybe a coyote or two, though of course Delilah is very well behaved and does not chase after them.
Does she whine?
No.
She's a perfect angel. And Ox, you're taking the final watch.
Mm-hmm.
Scar gets up as well, as you settle for your watch. And she sits not far away, maybe 3 feet or so distance from you. Back to back, just looking out the other direction. It's a fairly quiet, early dawn. And the night was clear, so you get to watch the sunrise over somewhere. And just as it starts to stain the horizon, you hear movement as Scar turns around to look at you. What do you want from all this? At the end, you know?
I think he'll turn back to face her. I don't really know what I want. I want to be able to enjoy life with my friends. What do you want, Scarlet?
She gives Ox a long look. Just want to be my own damn person. She turns back around. I'm getting there.
I think he'll turn back around as well. What else do you need for that?
Roll persuasion. Is that a nat 20?
It's a nat 20.
Oh!
I was like, please be good because my fucking persuasion is only a +1, please.
So, you know how a few sessions ago you rolled the dice and your dice fell out of the tray and you decided to stick with the number that that dice gave you, but you did agree that I could impose disadvantage on you at any time.
Absolutely.
Could you please roll again?
Natural 20.
3.
Fuck.
She doesn't say anything. Just looks out. So the horizon brightens behind her. Morning arrives.
Immediately, she got a really strong premonition about it. It was like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, you just had disadvantage for being siblings, I think.
Yeah.
You know.
What were you saying, May?
I'm just on my own little side quest.
Are you asking if Jacques slept?
Yes.
Yeah. I knew it. There was a lot of tossing and turning.
Okay. Kian doesn't sleep.
No. Kian needs to rest, but doesn't need to sleep.
Do they need to, like, close their eyes? Like, do they just, like, stare up at the stars? Like, what's
You
the
could just stare up
requirement?
at the stars if that doesn't remind you too much of your traumatizing time being dragged through the
That's
Feywilds.
true.
Okay. You can close your eyes.
Okay.
You can do either.
So Kian can just stare at one point. What?
Yeah, you can. I mean, he might notice.
I don't know what I'm trying to do right now.
You're not in pain, but it's like migraine or like concussion rules, basically. Like you need to be resting your mind. So if you're reading, if you're writing or drawing, something like that, then that does not count. But you can technically have your eyes open. There is a chance it will lead to something helpful if you end up seeing something before someone else.
Yeah.
I water my plants. My beans. How are my beans this morning?
Your beans are almost fully grown.
My beans.
Yeah.
Excellent. He updates like new sketches of them, what they look like.
Kian's scrying near broke. Virgil was like, I can mend it. And we were like, oh, we're right in the middle of the oceans and big magic just happened, so let's do it elsewhere. Was there an issue with mending it? Because I'm certain it would have happened in the
No.
carriage.
No, you can mend it.
When Kian wakes up from their fake sleep, they go over by the fire and kind of set up a scrying station, and Scar and Ox are awake, and everybody soon wakes up. Kian will still hold the mirror in their hands. So it was a little silly of me to forget that I had this. When we could have used it anyway. Now that we're having a bit of resting time, is there anyone we need to check in on?
Well, while we were over here, I was hoping we could make one more stop at Paradise.
Just a stop at the prison?
There's one more thing I want from Wiley before we leave the area for a good long while.
Okay. I imagine it will be a bit more complicated than our last trip.
Yeah, that's the hard part, is getting in unnoticed. We could try to meet him in the fields. He usually works early in the morning.
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought we did all of this because he put really scary tattoos on you.
What's the thing about Ox? Come crawling back to anyone, no matter what they do to him.
Yeah, he definitely shoots her a dirty look.
Wiley has a sketch that I did for one of the tattoos, and I want it back. I can't replicate it without having it.
And that's the only reason you want to see him? It's okay if there's more, if we're going to do this, I want to know all that we're doing.
I don't need to talk to him, for
You want
very
to,
long.
don't you?
I do want to, though. That's not a lie.
Okay, well, the fields would be better than breaking in.
We could try to send a familiar over the wall. There is an alarm spell on it, but there's only so high it can go up. If you were to send a bird over, it shouldn't be too bad.
And is there anything else you know of that would stop a familiar from entering the fields? Magic barriers?
There's gotta be something, otherwise everyone would be doing it, I figure. But things get smuggled in all the time. There's gotta be a way to get in there.
How exactly did you get out?
I didn't sneak out. My dues had been paid. If you can post bail, and they set it pretty high, you can get out.
But I thought that... Wasn't there a paper that said something else?
Different place, different time.
Oh, okay. This just seems... Well,
Stupid.
Risky.
We haven't exactly endeared ourselves to the sheriff, or really to anyone here except the devil, but I don't know that we need to go that far.
No, not for just a piece of paper.
Is it really just about the piece of paper? Because I think maybe you wouldn't have to go in. We could just try to send a familiar.
Or a spell. If he is in the fields and we can get a sending through.
I'm not judging if you want to talk to him in person. It's just a lot more dangerous.
I'd be fine with trying to send in spell and asking for it back.
Can somebody describe what he looks like?
Does Ox have a drawing, Wiley?
I do have paper and pencil. So
I was like, I have minor illusion.
What is paper? What is paper and pencil?
Yeah, what's
Like not a spell, but like physically.
yeah,
I don't know why I was like, that's a weird spell. I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
cute
so
spell
it's
name.
casting time about an hour, maybe less if I hurry. Virgil will draw a little rendition of Wiley for you.
Your draw. Will you roll a history check?
Sure.
I just draw like a cow.
Oh, wow, that is shit. Embarrassing. 10.
I would say, Ox, if you take a look at Virgil's drawing, it's a simplified version of Wiley. It makes sense. It's not like Virgil knows him like you do.
I'll take pointers.
Well, I mean, his nose is kind of like, it's a little lower.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, go on.
his horns are a little bigger. And,
Like outwards or upwards?
like outwards and
Okay.
a little upwards.
No, he takes it seriously. Yeah.
You end up with a fairly accurate.
Nice.
Do you have anything of his?
Ox will dig around in his pocket. He'll pull out a stone. It's a
Keen.
desert rose.
Keen will take it. Instead of casting sending, I think they are going to try to scry first. Wiley has to make a wisdom saving throw.
It's an 18.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh my god, I think... Are we sure we don't have anything
to boost you?
else? Because that is my spell save, but I think that
With the
Wiley...
things?
I have a possession or garment, which
Yeah.
is -4, but I have secondhand knowledge. I haven't met them.
Okay.
So that's a +5.
Do they stack like that?
Yeah,
Yes, they would.
they
yeah.
do.
Or it's a +1.
So
So...
That would make it a 19.
body part.
I don't know that we have
Yeah.
a lock of hair unless you're holding out on us.
Why
For
his
some
hair?
reason, I feel like
Yeah.
he has your blood or you have his blood or something. Is
Wiley's?
that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Maybe this was somebody else.
I mean, there's tattoos. Donna has one of Jacques' teeth. which is
Fucked
still
up.
missing.
By the way.
Scar has a bunch of faded Wiley tattoos.
Yeah. But I don't think
But it is
tattoos...
some kind of
Yeah.
body part.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not part of Wiley.
Okay.
Oh well.
Yeah, how far is it from where we are currently?
By motorcycle.
A day and a half.
So we have one more chance.
Okay, that didn't work. Should we wait until we can try again to get a better idea before the sending?
If we're going to send him, I think we should be there.
Yeah, not to give him too much of a heads up.
I mean, what would scrying really tell us?
Well, what if he's just walking around?
That's actually, a good point. We don't know.
Or if, I don't know, if there's a guard right there, or Donna. Actually,
What?
do these papers count as possessions of Donna's?
Mhm.
I want to scry on Donna
Yeah, sure.
while I'm here. I think Keen just says,
Just
actually, and then
Doesn't say
stares at the mirror.
I bet that fails. That's a 1. I think this would be fairly early in the morning still.
Maybe 8:30.
You see Donna walking straight backed very determinedly down one of the covered streets of somewhere. Maggie is next to her. There is an intimidatingly blank-faced look to Donna. Maggie, you saw Maggie on the train, right? When we first met Maggie?
Yeah.
Maggie has the look of the head engineer holding a crossbow to someone's face. They both are like a storm down the street. Occasionally, in just the very background of the image, at the extent of your vision, you can see that people are walking by, but they're being given a wide berth.
She might be a little bit mad at you, Henry.
Violating the restraining order.
You just keep watching.
Yeah.
You watch them walk a little longer. They walk up to the door that you recognize from staring at it all night, trying to figure out how to get in. Donna opens it, walks down the hallway to the office. There's a guard standing outside the office who says, good morning, and stutters and nods and kind of like bows and salutes at the same time, and opens the door. She walks inside, and Maggie's still following close behind, and opens the drawers that you all rifled through before, and just starts to like flick through the files. Maggie kneels down next to her, leaning over her shoulder, watching as she searches. In the middle of her second search through, your vision ends.
So Donna's in her office right now, pretty mad. I think maybe we should pack up.
Yeah, it sounds like we need to get the hell out of here.
All right.
She has some reason to suspect you?
We did take my file, and everyone else who was tattooed.
Considering that Henry visited their house last night, I think she might put together a picture.
There was one guard who saw Keen while in disguise, so we didn't get caught per se, but someone was caught rifling through.
Well, technically that isn't actually evidence.
Oh, she doesn't have any proof, but I think she maybe knows.
She can draw whatever conclusion she wants. We're leaving.
But we should be leaving, I think.
Scar's still giving you all this pursed lip, raised brow, suspicious look during all of this. She stands up.
What?
What?
You're looking at us like...
You can't still seriously think we're working with Donna, right?
Never said that, did I?
Your face was saying it.
We'll go with you in the direction of the prison, but not going anywhere near it.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's get out of here.
And we aren't coming back to somewhere.
Did you want to?
Oh, I just couldn't remember if I still had my PO box open at the station in somewhere. It's not that important, go about it.
Do you need someone to check your mail for you, Mr. Goodlove?
No, and I don't want you looking at my mail.
Henry, that's a federal crime, actually.
But it's not a...
Actually,
Scar looks over to Finn, who looks over to Scar, and they both share this. They communicate something with their eyes.
Psychically.
Guess we best head out.
Yes.
So you all ride off into the desert. Henry, you hear a familiar voice in your head.
Kind of familiar voice.
Fuck you, Henry. It's Maggie. Sends you a message. That's all she says.
Yeah. She definitely thinks you were just trying to distract her.
No, he doesn't send anything back.
And her voice fades, and all you hear is the sound of the engines, the motorcycles, as you race across the sand towards Paradise Prison. As I said, it's going to take probably about a day and a half by motorcycle. So you will have, a night to rest up again. The next morning, if you want to try scrying.
I actually would love to send that night. Get those spell slots some use. To Errol first. Hi. So I think I have figured out sending. I miss you. I hope you are well. I'll reach out when I can.
That was a bit of a waste. No interesting gossip. Still quite impressive. I miss you too. It's alright here. I'm sure Ophelia says hello.
Oh god. We're just surrounded by so many people who are listening to me. He will go off after that message. He'll go for a little walk with Blossom and get a good distance away. Okay, fuck. He'll cast sending again to Errol. Actually, I ran into Nico in somewhere. She seems well. Do you want me to send to her and tell her that you're here? It's okay if not. I know it's a hard thing to do over sending.
I take back what I said about uninteresting gossip. How the magic almost drops before he starts to speak again. Of course, I would like to speak with her, but don't know if I should, as I am.
I will, I suppose, let him think on that for some time. And an arcane recovery later.
30 minutes.
Yeah, it's a short rest. He'll sit out under the stars, out there by himself. And he'll cast to Rowan. Sorry it's late. I'll send to you when I can. I miss you. I'll say it as many times as I need. I hope that you had a good day.
Don't send if it puts you in danger. It's alright. All is well here. Sunny is with me now. Looking confused. It's Virgil. Flowers are blooming.
He'll sit out there a little bit longer before he goes to bed.
Kian would ask both keep detect magic up and try to keep Virgil in sight for the scrying spell. Like, I think they would have brought this up to Virgil, like, as soon as that scrying went through with Donna. Like, can you try to, like, stay, just in case? I can give, like, a, I don't know, warning if she's trying to scry.
Yeah, how close do you need me to be?
30 feet.
If I'm out for a walk and all she sees is me, that's fine.
That's fine. Fine.
Actually, that's a good point. I think during travel, Virgil will try to keep some distance from at least Scar. He doesn't really know how far, like, a person's sight extends with scry, but I think that he would try to keep some distance.
It's around midday when Virgil makes a wisdom save.
My favorite.
When it detects something, you don't necessarily know that it's detecting something.
If you are looking, like,
okay,
they
so
glow.
if it's detecting magic behind you, you don't get like a ping that it's...
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, then yes.
They are trying to keep Virgil in sight, but
Yeah, roll perception. And
Yeah.
roll wisdom save. What did you get?
I got a natural one. So.
Okay.
I rolled a 19.
A 19?
A 19 on my save.
Yeah, Kian, you don't notice anything.
I'm so mad.
Oh my god, I just don't know.
Yeah, you ride on.
That evening, would Virgil notice anything different about the tattoo?
Would you like to roll a perception check?
Sure.
Or I guess investigation maybe would make more sense.
I would
for...
love to roll investigation.
Yeah.
16.
It seems a little bit faded from last time you saw it. Not like you can't see it,
Yeah.
but it looks years older instead of like you've only had it for a few weeks. Or I guess months at this point.
I will cast Identify on Virgil's tattoo and see if anything
Still the
matches it.
same.
Okay. Does it seem like it would still work as a focus?
Mhm.
That bitch. How many fucking uses does she get out of this? Fuck.
We've been wrong plenty of times
We've-
before.
Been wronged. Actually.
That too. Does Virgil say anything about the scrying while Scar's around?
He doesn't say anything to Scar's group. He will show Kian his arm. I don't know when it happened, but sometime today. And I have a reason to believe she can do it again at least once.
Shit, I'm sorry. I'm just trying.
No, it's okay.
Okay, but
I don't know that she got anything.
Yeah, we weren't really talking, so that's good. I'll try to keep a closer eye.
Yeah, it's okay.
Especially when we're talking about anything.
Yeah, I'll just keep my distance.
I didn't even think about it until just now.
What's up, babe?
Does Scar have the crow
The what?
with her? It hasn't been mentioned, so...
Excuse me?
The
what?
Make a perception check.
Hey, the fucking what?
I need a gun.
That's a nat 20.
What the fuck?
Roll again.
You can.
You've had a hard time properly seeing the crow, like it's avoiding you. But on this ride over, this open kind of plain, essentially the desert, you can't help but notice amongst the birds that fly across your vision here and there, one in particular, familiar black, shadowy bird, seems to be following you.
Familiar, huh?
And when you stop for the night, you can just see the outline of it atop a cactus in the distance.
Is that another celestial bird? Do we have so many celestial birds just hanging around?
Yeah, Ox can't help but try to keep eyes on it.
Scar sits down next to you. And she looks in the same direction you're looking. Did you just take that damn bird?
It's been following you, hasn't it?
It has.
I'd take it if it would come, but I don't know how to get it to stay.
What the hell am I saying? She stands up, pulls the gun out of her holster, and starts to walk towards it. You hold down the camp.
I think he'll start running after her.
Everything okay?
Everything's fine.
Yeah, we're fine.
She's got her gun drawn?
Yeah. It's not pointed at Ox, but she does have her gun drawn. Or his gun drawn, however you want to put it.
Stay within earshot.
Yeah, we will.
He won't get up, but he's watching.
She keeps walking towards it.
He'll follow a few steps behind.
And she raises the gun. There's a crack of a gunshot, and it falls to the ground.
What the fuck?
What's going on?
Ox just waits, like almost expectantly.
Kian runs over, I think, at this and just stands and stares and is confused. And
She just stares down at it for a moment.
what is going on? Why?
Just finishing the job.
Loves killing her problems.
Detect magic on this bird, buddy.
She holsters the gun again, starts to walk back. It's fading fast, but there is a slight celestial aura.
Ox, what is this?
I think Ox is in disbelief as he falls to his knees to cradle the crow.
What the fuck's happening? And Marigold flies down and I'm gonna cast healing.
Nobody's gonna let the crow die.
Before this faint celestial aura to it completely fades, Marigold flies down, touches her little falcon forehead to the crow's forehead. For a typical crow, you would think that this wound would have finished it pretty efficiently, but you see life return back to it as the wings flap, and it rights itself, and shakes itself, and flutters back up to the cactus.
What? What the hell?
Hello? What is happening?
I don't really know. It used to be Anne's crow.
When I look at both the crow and Marigold with detect magic, is it that do they have the same celestial bird aura?
It's a little bit more mushroom-like,
What the fuck?
like the stuff you were finding below ground, not too far off.
Looks like the mushrooms we saw down there. And a bit like Marigold does.
Okay. Are we going to talk about what just happened?
Are you someone else's familiar?
It just goes,
Marigold, can you two talk?
she looks at you, and she looks up at the crow, and looks at you, blinks,
Admittedly, I'm a little offended you asked Marigold before me. But, yes. Do we have any specific questions?
Scar starts to walk back towards you all.
Oh, goodness.
Tell her to leave me alone.
All right, we have one leave me alone. Other questions?
I think that's enough.
Why is it here? What does it want?
Okay. Henry will go over to the cactus, cast Speak with Animals. Hello. Do you have a name?
It ruffles its feathers again, but in the motion, it to you kind of looks like it shakes its head no.
Understandable. Are you doing more or less all right now?
Its gaze turns directly to you, Henry. Has a very piercing, almost uncannily humanoid intelligence to it. It nods.
Good. Sounds like you've been hanging around for a while. Do you have a reason for that? A goal?
Watching.
Any subject of interest? Particular interest?
Looks directly at Scar. She glares back.
I see. And, do you belong to someone? Have a companion?
No.
Does that make sense? Scar has feeling uncomfortable with the watching and has asked you to leave her alone. Please.
No.
Why not?
I'm protecting.
Protecting her?
No.
I thought not.
I like the cut of this guy's jib.
Straight to the point.
Protecting orcs.
Looks to Ox. You are now subject to the crow's gaze. Ruffles its feathers again. Lifts a wing and lowers it. Looks back to you, Henry. And it nods.
Honestly, a very admirable goal. Okay. Interesting.
Are you finally gonna get your animal companion?
Okay. Henry will switch out of Crow.
I feel like Crow must be like Italian, where there's a lot of gesture involved.
Mm-hmm.
And Henry uses a lot of gestures all the time anyways. That's extra gestures. So, seems like our crow friend is not interested in leaving, fortunately. They are concerned for orcs.
Scar gives the crow the most powerful stink eye you've ever seen in your entire life. You don't have detect magic up, but you can see a dark aura around her.
I think Ox will hold up his arm as if for the crow to fly over and perch, just offering. Like he's seen N do before.
It looks, blinks, turns its head, looks to Scar. She clicks her tongue, turns around, and walks back to camp as it flies down and lands on Ox's arm.
Give it a few head strokes and scritches.
How far away is Scar? Like outside hearing range or?
And you could wait until she's outside of hearing range.
So, I mean, it was sort of implied, I'm sure, by Scar's behaviour, but the other part of our conversation was that our crow friend is here to keep an eye on Scar, in particular, considering her seems a danger to orcs. But interestingly enough, they do not have, these seems like to their knowledge, either a name or any sort of master or someone of that nature.
Ox gives another stroke of the head. Yeah, and never named it. Sort of, I always figured out of respect it could leave anytime it wanted. I figured it was following Scar because, well, I don't know. It just, it left after Ann died. So I knew it wasn't mine.
So you're saying it just appeared, then?
He had the crow before I met him. I don't know when they met exactly.
Is it rude if I ask? Would you be okay with me asking that question too? I mean, we have the party right here.
No, I don't think it's rude.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. His voice returns to being. Series of cause. If I may, a quick question. There was once a tiefling, a blue tiefling.
N.
Yes, N, exactly. Excellent. I'm glad I wasn't sure if... Anyways, I digress. We were a little curious about how the two of you met. Did you seek N out specifically?
No.
I understand you traveled together for quite some time. Is there a particular reason?
I like N. He gives me shiny things. N was mine and I was N's.
I understand. I'll let Ox know too.
Ox!
The crow looks at you, Henry, for a moment. Again, with that sort of almost humanoid expression, narrows its eyes and turns its head to the side. Who are you?
Oh. I've been told not to give up my full name, but I mean, you see, Henry Tempest Goodlove. I'm a friend of Ox and, well, he gestures around him. This is company.
Henry probably just said, "Ah, Henry Tim's good."
Everybody sighs.
Kill Scar. Kill Scar. Kill Scar.
I can see what I can do. I'm a little worried that it might kill Ox too, you know. She
No.
seems to... He makes a connecting gesture. No?
Not anymore.
This guy knows shit.
Kill Scar.
What is the face you're making right now, Henry, if I may?
He's a little shocked, but not that shocked.
Kill Scar.
I will bring it to the group. We just need to find it. Henry sent his back. Comment. So, it seems that our pro friend has had a strong connection with N, which I suppose is understandable. They said that they quite like N, that N used to give them shiny things, you know. Honestly, in a positive manner, to be expected perhaps from a crow, but they also bear a grudge against Scar.
Yeah, you know, I would say that makes sense, considering...
Yeah, I'd also say that makes sense.
To the extent that I think they would like, I say think, they would like for Scar's actions to be replicated in reverse, you know, from tonight. But without Kian.
What?
What's happening? What?
That's Henry's roundabout speak for the crow wants Scar dead.
Oh.
That might be an issue.
Can it do that sort of thing on its own? I don't... Kian looks to the crow.
The crow looks to Kian.
No offense, I don't know if you can understand me when I'm talking like this.
It seems not.
No.
I don't know, that kind of felt like it was understanding a bit.
I think it would like outsourcing. I imagine it's due to the difficulty for accomplishing that task given the current form it takes.
You know, it's just that... And he'll, like, glance back at the others. You know, we've found some difficulty in that task ourselves. in the past, given certain conditions.
That was actually the next point that I was going to bring up, because I did mention that it wouldn't be possible to execute that without also executing Ox in the process. And then it said no, not anymore, which is
Awfully astute.
Can you talk to miracles?
Maybe not right now.
Fair.
when we get back to camp. I know we're just right next to it, but you know.
If we can go back to, that's a big gamble for us to take at face value.
Although it does seem like Scar and N knew more than Ox, perhaps, or more than Ox knows now.
The crow, it's on Ox's arm, right? Are you next to Ox, Henry?
Yes.
It gives you a little harmless peck on the shoulder.
Henry brings his attention to the crow.
Scar was Ox. Scar is Scar. Kill Scar.
Wait, what? That? Did you watch when she took the, wait, are you saying it's because he has a new body that he's fine? Is that what you mean? Were you there? Did you witness that?
Yes.
The egg?
Yes.
You're making a face. What?
The crow is saying that they did in fact witness the egg adventure earlier, and that Scar was Ox, but now Scar is Scar and therefore can be killed separately.
Does Kian know anything about celestial familiars? Are they very rare?
I would say it depends on the source of the magic. Blossom is tied to Virgil most closely. When you look at the magic around Blossom, it looks like Virgil's magic.
Okay.
Well, maybe we should take some time and circle back to this.
Rather quick. Yes. But also, if this crow was En's familiar, did En have magic?
No. He was like me. He used a gun.
Is it a familiar, or is it more of a companion like Delilah?
But Delilah doesn't look like magic at all when I look at her with detect magic, right?
Right.
Well, also, if it was a familiar and N is not around anymore, the familiar wouldn't necessarily be on this plane, or...
Yeah, that is another good point.
That's true.
Okay, we keep the crow around and keep it from getting shot again, and we sit on this. And we're not hasty.
Honestly, this is going to sound crazy, maybe, but
Okay.
listen. The optimal thing we know, we've seen previously that when Scar is injured, that injury would transfer over to Ox. We don't necessarily know if that means benign injuries or if it's more of major injuries, like when I stuck her with an arrow. But
Good shot, by the way.
thank you. If we're in combat together on the same side, it's possible that we would have an opportunity to have that test, and then we can check Ox's reaction, and if he doesn't have one, then what the crow says is true, right?
Okay, so we keep an eye out.
And we don't let Scar or the bird kill each other.
There's a collective nod from the group.
So we're all taking watch tonight, right?
Yeah, I never really intended for only one of each group to be on watch, so it's a good standard to keep.
Okay.
We've been over here for quite some time being suspicious, so let's maybe go back.
As they walk back over, Ox will dig through his pockets to look for a little screw to present to the crow.
As you walk back, the crow is going, ah! and clutching a little shiny silver screw in its claws.
It needs a little pouch for its things.
Yeah. Scar Scar looks up at you as you all walk by. She's settled down. She looks up at you, Ox, looks at the crow. Back to you. You new pet now?
Hopefully.
Fine.
At least this way it is hovering around Ox and not you, yeah?
Yeah.
Small victories.
I'll take first watch.
If you want, Kian, I can take watch with you and we can, if you wanted to ask something of Marigold.
I don't really have anything in particular. I'm just curious what kind of conversation she would hold.
There's so many animals you could talk to.
It's fine, I think. We can do this later.
Alright.
What did it say?
Well, that N used to give it a lot of shiny things. It seems they had a very special connection. We're mostly just asking, how the crow met N, but seemed like it was not a particularly dramatic tale. Just that they're very close with one another. Honestly, mostly that.
She stands up. She marches past Leaf and Finn and Mela, who are, sort of getting camp set up. I think Jacques has already settled down for a first watch. He looks over his shoulder curiously as she walks by them. She glances over her shoulder at her group. Stay. It's over to one of the motorbikes and revs the engine and drives off.
Wow.
No offense, she's just really cool.
She just talks to them like they're animals. That's not...
Well.
Mela looks over to you, Virgil, as you say that. That's only...
She's rude. Yeah.
I mean, she's not that bad, usually.
Stay.
Just when she's...
Are you kidding?
Sorry.
Sorry, can you do that again?
I don't know if I can.
Please.
No, I think one was enough.
Alright, she's not usually like that, just when something pisses her off.
I've never seen her not pissed off. We've
Yeah,
been with you for, almost a week?
She's been pissed off since y'all arrived.
Yeah, I think we might be the problem.
You're sure she wasn't pissed off before us?
I mean, there were times when she'd be pissed off, sure, but
And she would talk to you like that?
not usually to us. Just calm down, it's fine.
You don't even have dental?
You guys?
We have dental and vision. I think we might have actually discussed this.
I don't know.
This is even the first time we've
not
been that
actually an employer benefit.
It just seems as if you're willing to overlook quite a few flaws.
We should maybe let Mela make her own decision on this one.
Oh, no, of course she can. I'm just saying that was bullshit.
She seems to think that you're all also overlooking other people's flaws a little too much too, so it's about perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know anything, so...
Yeah, well, we don't treat each other like shit. That's the point I'm making. You're supposed to be working with her friends, at least friendly.
Well, apparently she was treated like shit, so,
Being treated like shit isn't an excuse to treat others like shit.
Okay, Sorry, I'm mostly on your side, Virgil, but at the same time...
Only mostly.
At the same time, we did say that we would work with her, and there's been an energy that both sides have been given off the entire time that makes it a little hard to work with each other.
I have toned down my rudeness considerably in Scott's presence.
Have done a lot, actually.
Thinking back, I don't think I said anything uncivil to her.
Jacques stands up while you're having this talk and steps over to stand beside Kian.
I think that, we saved a bird because we thought that was the right thing to do. But the bird does want to kill her.
You say that in front of...
All eyes turn to you, and then all eyes turn to the bird on Ox's shoulder.
Kian, that is an entirely unfair assumption to make about crows.
Paladin?
I'm going to go meditate.
I don't know, it's a long story. I'm trying to figure it out.
Jacques gives a heavy sigh as Virgil stomps off. You know, I know it is late, but if you want to go ahead with your whatever it is exactly you're doing in the fields of the prison, when Scar comes back, we can talk to her. She's not interested in going anyway. I don't fully understand, obviously, what is happening here. And he glances back at the crow.
One thing, I don't think that the crow in this moment is a worry for anybody.
Well, she did try to kill it. I thought it was her familiar.
Has it been around for a while then?
Since I know her.
Yeah, I was under the impression that the crow wanted to follow her. As in, wanting to be with her as a familiar.
She never seemed to have any particular affection towards it, but did not say much. I don't know, it is very strange hearing the two perspectives on this, because according to her, you have made her do plenty of things she does not want to do. That is part of her entire motto sounds much too formal, but well, our goal is freedom. In general. It is how she brings us together. We are sort of a motley crew.
What did she say that I made her do?
From the sound of it, she was like a lackey type. Did the dirty work. That is why I did not have the best first impression of you.
I won't say it's not true to an extent, but we all did lackey stuff. We were a team for a while. The work was split evenly between all three of us, as were the rewards.
Not according to her.
I think Ox looks deep in thought after hearing this.
I am misogynist.
I just wonder if there is something you are all refusing to see or understand about her. And maybe if you wish to work together, understanding that could be helpful.
I guess the main problem is I'm trying, but every time we do put down the walls in between us, it seems like she's annoyed that we don't understand it right away. We can't really understand it if we don't really know what we're supposed to understand, I guess.
And she does like to give us cryptic, non-elaboratory answers.
That is true. I don't know. I think you should do this little mission of yours without us.
Are you suggesting we go right now?
I think you should go.
This is before arrest, right?
Yeah.
So we'd be exhausted. Kim looks to Jacques. I guess if we're gonna do this, we need to do it soon anyway, right? We have to be there by morning.
I suppose you're right.
I'll check in with Marigold when it's time to meet back up.
And we'll let you know if we've managed to talk her down.
Maybe see if she's open to a mediated therapy session.
None of you are qualified.
Nobody's qualified.
Just let her know that we want to know her side of things. Okay. Let's go.
Okay.
Alright.
Jacques nods and helps you all get ready to go. As you're kind of half unpacked. You've seen him in this mode, Kian, whenever there is conflict amongst the winds. Lachlan would sort of turn into an un-Lachlan-like teacherly figure. And you see it now as he helps you all get ready and sends you off. Before you all go, just as you're about to take off, Mela comes up to your group. You only one of us to go with you?
Do you want to?
I mean, it's just if the bikes break down or something.
Yeah. We could use your help, I think.
All right. Fine. I guess I can come with you. As she grabs her pack, that is where we'll end our session for tonight.
We're gonna win her back.
Please let us win her back.
Been building up a wall, laying mortar onto brick. Been building up a wall, 'cause you just make me sick. When that wall's between you and me, that's the way it should always be. And I've been filling up the sea, mixing water in with salt. I've been filling up the sea, 'cause this was all your fault. When we stand on separate shores, I'll simmer just a little more. Always fighting over something these days, crying over nothing either way. You've been building up a railroad, laying rails and stakes and wood. You've been building up a railroad, like it'll do you any good. When that train is on the tracks, we can put all this at our back.